I am 80 years old now. Looking back, my life seems like a collection of beautiful moments and one devastating mistake. They say time heals everything, but they lied. Some shadows only grow longer as the sun sets. I'm sharing this secret so you don't end up like me. Before I continue, subscribe to this channel because this lesson might just save your future. I can't go back and change the past, but I can warn you. Now let me take you back to one Tuesday in 1974.
I am 80 years old now. Looking back, my life seems like a collection of beautiful moments and one devastating mistake. They say time heals everything, but they lied. Some shadows only grow longer as the sun sets. I'm sharing this secret today so you don't end up like me. Before I reveal the truth, subscribe to this channel because the lesson I learned the hard way might just save your future. Now, let me take you back to one Tuesday in June 1974. I was 28 and the world was at my feet. I had everything a man could dream of: a loving wife, Sarah, whose smile could light up the darkest room, and a little daughter who thought I was a superhero. But inside, I was driven by a hunger that never slept. I wasn't just working. I was obsessed. I told myself it was for their future, but the truth was, I was missing their present. I was building a palace for them, but I was becoming a stranger in my own home. That year, the silence in our house started to grow, but I was too busy listening to the sound of my own ambition to notice. The pressure at the firm was immense. They promised me a partnership if I closed the biggest deal of the decade. I felt like I was on the verge of greatness. Sarah would call me at the office, her voice soft but tired, asking if I'd be home for dinner. I'd always have an excuse, a meeting, a report, a client. I convinced myself that once I reached the top, I'd stop and spend all my time with them. But the top always seemed one step further away. Then came that fateful Tuesday. My daughter had her very first piano recital. She had practiced for months, her tiny fingers hitting the keys with such pride. Sarah begged me to be there just for an hour, but my boss called a late-night strategy session for the deal. I looked at the clock, then at the phone, and I made the choice that would haunt me for 50 years. I chose the boardroom over the front row. I chose the applause of strangers over the gaze of my child. I truly believed I was making a sacrifice for their future, but it was just a sacrifice of them. Remember the cold air of the office that night as I signed the papers. I felt like a winner. I drove home late, expecting to find them asleep as usual. But the house was different. The lights were all on, but the silence was deafening. There was a small, hand-painted program lying on the kitchen table with my daughter's name on it. Beside it was a note from Sarah. They hadn't waited for me. They had gone. She had taken our daughter, and I had missed it all. She had seen every empty chair in the front row where I was supposed to be. That night was the beginning of a distance that no amount of money could ever bridge. I had won the deal, but I had lost the trust of the two people who mattered most. I realized then that you can't buy back a missed moment, no matter how rich you become. That empty chair became the symbol of my life, a seat at the table of success, but a void in the heart of my family. The silence echoed louder than any cheer. From that day, something inside Sarah broke. She stopped asking, stopped waiting. Our conversations became polite, functional, devoid of warmth. My daughter, once so eager for my return, would now just give me a shy wave from her room. I tried to make it up to them with gifts, dolls, dresses, holidays. But a material gift can never replace the gift of time, of presence. I saw her grow up through photographs, through Sarah's descriptions, but never truly with her. I watched her first steps in a blurry home video, not from across the room. I learned about her favorite color from her mother, not from her excited whispers. The irony was, I was working so hard to provide them with a perfect life, but I was stripping it of its most precious ingredient, me. Our house, once filled with laughter, became a mausoleum of unspoken words and missed opportunities. The void I felt in my chest grew bigger with every passing year, a constant ache. Years passed. I climbed higher, became richer, earned every accolade the corporate world could offer. I became a partner, then a senior partner. My name was synonymous with success. But every promotion, every bonus felt hollow. I'd come home to an empty house. Sarah had left when our daughter turned 18, tired of waiting for a man who never arrived. My daughter had gone to college, found her own path, and built a life far away from my shadow. I had achieved everything I set out to do financially, but I had nothing to share it with. My empire was built on a foundation of loneliness. I remember standing on the top floor of my skyscraper one night, looking down at the glittering city and realizing I was the loneliest man in it. The silence was louder than any roar of success. The taste of victory was bitter, laced with regret. I had traded the warmth of my family for the cold comfort of gold. The hardest part was watching Sarah fade away. We had reconciled in her final years, but the wounds of the past never truly healed. I tried to tell her how sorry I was, how much I regretted all the lost time, all the missed moments. She would just smile weakly, a sad, knowing smile that told me she understood, but that some things, even time, couldn't fix. I held her hand in her final moments, wishing I could turn back the clock to that Tuesday in 1974. I wanted to tell her I loved her, truly loved her, not just the idea of her. But words felt cheap, inadequate. The silence in that hospital room was the loudest sermon I ever heard. It screamed of every "I'll do it later," every "just one more deal." Her passing left a void that even my daughter couldn't fill entirely, a constant reminder of the life I chose not to live. Now, as an old man, I spend my days in this quiet house. It's filled with memories, some beautiful, many filled with pain. My daughter visits sometimes. She's kind, she's forgiving, but there's a distance, an echo of what could have been. I see other old men with their grandchildren, full of laughter and stories, and a pang of deep regret hits me. I missed all of that. I traded the joy of building sandcastles for the thrill of building an empire. And what good is an empire if you have no one to share it with? The wealth I accumulated means nothing. It's just a reminder of the true riches I sacrificed. Every sunset is a reminder of another day gone, another opportunity missed to tell them I love them enough to simply be there. My greatest regret isn't the deals I lost, but the moments I abandoned. So, if you're listening to this and you're chasing success, I implore you, don't make my mistake. Don't sacrifice the precious moments today for the promise of a better tomorrow that might never come. Your family, your loved ones, they are not interruptions to your work. They are the reason for it. Put down that phone, close that laptop, go home early. Play with your children. Tell your spouse you love them. Be present, because the money, the promotions, the accolades, they won't hold your hand when you're 80 and alone. Only the memories of shared laughter, of quiet evenings, of being there for the ones who matter most will keep you warm. Don't chase a future that leaves you regretting your past. Choose wisely. Choose love. Choose presence. This is my warning. From an old man who wishes he could turn back time. Don't end up like me,